All right, hello, fellow coder. Welcome back to this next lesson in our FreshVotes series. So, in the previous lesson, we were setting up some styles to our comments and adding the like and reply. For now, I think I'm going to take away the like, just because that's just going to be extra work that I don't necessarily want to put into this just yet. But I wanted to show you how fairly straightforward it is to add that in there. Sorry, using this this div style stuff. Stylizing your anchor tags. Okay, so let me format the code a little bit. Let me take out the like here, and let me reset the margins for the reply, because if I don't change the margin here, the reply is going to jump like back over here somewhere. Oop, I need to start my server first before I can show you that. Start the server and log back in. So the reply button is going to be like, over here, right? Which, hey, maybe you want it to be there, but just for me and my own aesthetics, I'm going to move it to the right more, and perfect. That's sort of where I want it. So now we need to decide what happens when we click on reply. So there's two things I can think of here. One, the easier way is when we click on reply, what it will do is it will know what comment we're clicking on. So it'll store like the comment ID somewhere. And when we click on reply, it will pass those details into this form. There's a form that backs, that's behind this add comment button in this text area. So there's a form behind it, and we can pass information to that form so that when we type in our comment here and hit add comment, it won't be a root level comment. It will be replying to this one. So maybe we click on reply, and then in the comments, or maybe the leave a comment below, it'll replace this text with replying to comment, and then it'll put the text of the comment, and then allow you to type in a reply here. That's sort of the simplest way that I can think to do it. The more complex way would be to when you click on reply here, it will open up, it will expand on the screen and give you another comment box with another add comment button appearing below the comment that you just clicked reply on. Okay? And maybe if you click reply on another one, then it'll close the one that we'd opened here. Maybe it'll close the comment box here, and it will open one, below whatever other one we clicked on, right? So there's kind of only one, or one and only one comment box that's sort of floating around. So that's sort of a more natural experience, I think. I would imagine. Because if we're down here, let's say, and we click on reply, it'll have to scroll up and then populate this text box up here. And what happens if you just want to leave a root comment, a comment on the root, and not reply to anyone? Well, if you clicked on reply on one of these and it's scrolling up here, it's going to say something like, leave me a comment for this comment or whatever, and then you'd have to click another button to say, no, cancel this or stop replying, so that it could go back to reverting to this state where it's like a root comment. So I think from a user experience perspective, I think it makes more sense that when you click on reply, it should inline open up a new comment box with another button to save the comment. So I think that's the way we should go, right? Just talking to myself, and you can make this, you can design this however you want, right? That's the theme of all these videos, is you can do anything you want it to do, right? This is the power that we possess as coders. But I think that makes the most sense in terms of a seamless experience. Forgive the use of the overhyped word or overused words, but I think that makes the most sense. So, okay, fine, let's do that. So when we click on reply, it'll open a comment box. So how the heck are we going to do that, right? Well, my first thought is we're going to have a comment box to display, and we could technically have another comment box, easily. The easiest way that I can think to do that is we just have a comment box here, right? We have a div that has a text area already inside of it, right? Just like we have, where is it? On the feature page? Yes, there's a comment here. So this guy, right? This is the leave a comment below text area situation. And we need to add a comment button too. So we essentially take the whole form and put the whole form into this, what's the word? Recursive comment pasting thing. So essentially, this is sort of the easiest way to do it. There's still more work here, but essentially what's going to happen is every single comment will have a leave a comment below box. But obviously this experience is very ugly, right? This does not look good. This is kind of abrasive and like, what's happening? Why are there all these it's just hard to wrap your head around. So really what we want to do is we want to make this hidden. All of them should be hidden by default, right? So let's do that. Now I forget off the top of my head how to make something hidden. I think it's D-none for display is none, I think. Yeah. Okay. So close. We missed the add comment button. So the form should be D-none. So I only hid the this scope, right, which is just a leave a comment below and the text area, but it did not hide the add comment button. So we need to add D-none to the form. So form class equals D-none. So you want to hide the whole form. There we go. So now we're back to where we were, right? It looks the same. But now when we click on the reply button, we could switch the D-none. We could remove the D-none class from that particular comment's form, right? So that's step 2, I guess, is to do that. So when we click on the reply button, it should unhide the form that is sort of sister to it, right? So let's do that. So let's change this from an anchor tag to be something that we can use in a JavaScript context. So let's make this, how do we do this? How do we make a link? I think, can we make it a button? A button whose class is a link? Is that how we do it? And get rid of the href because href doesn't apply to buttons. Is that how we do it? No. Is there a way to, so bootstrap, style button as link. Yeah, this is button drop downs, bootstrap, Twitter bootstrap, button styles. Let me go to Google just to see if Google has anything. Bootstrap links as buttons. When using button classes on... No, so that's the other way, right? You can turn a link into a button, but I want to turn a button into a link. So maybe that's not something that is typical. When using a button classes on blah, look like a normal link. Do we want to do that? As noted in the official documentation, simply apply the classes btn link. Oh, btn link. I've never seen btn link before. So button class is btn link. Holy cow, it worked. Sweet. So now when I click on it, it's not going to refresh the whole page, right? Because it's a button now. So buttons don't act like anchor tags. Cool. Excellent. Instead, when I click on this button, I want it to do something, right? So first we need to be able to isolate what button is being clicked on. So this is where I think I'm using jQuery, right? I've already started. I think I'm using jQuery in this. Well, that's not jQuery. I'm partial to jQuery just because it's simple, it's very lightweight, it's easy to get started with, and you don't have to learn a whole framework around it. You know, because if you know CSS selectors, you pretty much can work with jQuery almost out of the box. So that's why I prefer jQuery for smaller projects like this. We can go more crazy and do something like having React or Vue.js, which are cool. Nothing against those frameworks. They're just kind of bulky for what I want to get done right now. So that's my personal opinion. Take it or leave it. So what I'm going to do is for the IDs, I need to have a way to uniquely identify a button so that I can select it with jQuery and add the functionality of a click to it. So I'm going to augment the ID with a th, time leaf, and I'm going to set the ID to be, let's see, the ID should be, and I'm going to use the bar notation here to do string concatenation, make string concatenation fairly simple. So this is going to be the reply btn dash, and then the ID of the comment. So comment.id, because each comment should have its own reply button, right? So this is going to create a unique ID where it says reply btn dash and then a number. Okay, so that if all goes well, if I refresh here, each of these reply things are going to have an ID saying reply btn1. Then I go to this guy, reply btn2. You see what's going on here? Reply btn13. So each one will have a unique ID, and with that unique ID, I can then use JavaScript to... Can I do this? No, it's not in the head section here. I need to do it not in the fragment, but in the... Well, I could inline the script here. I could say, script, text JavaScript, and put some stuff in here, but I'm just going to put it in the feature HTML. And really, I should be extracting this into its own external file. But anyway, we'll get there when we get there. So the next thing we need to do here, because I'm going to be using JavaScript, is let's make sure we have jQuery. Let's make sure we have access to jQuery here. So let me go to the header and see if we are bringing in jQuery. Yes, we are. Bootstrap. jQuery Slim. Okay, cool. So bring in the small version of jQuery. So I can then do, come on now, the initializing part of jQuery. This is what you need to write in order for jQuery to work. Everything needs to go inside of the initializing function. So basically, once the page is loaded and everything's ready to rock, this gets fired, and you can start typing stuff in here, and it will execute that code once everything is properly loaded. If you write stuff outside of the scope of this, in terms of JavaScript code, it won't work in a jQuery context because things haven't finished loading. So basically what I want to do here is I want to use a selector to select buttons that have an ID that is like something. Well, the something is, what were the IDs? The names of the IDs? They were reply button dash. So let me get all the buttons that look like this, reply dash. Okay? And I want to add so first you select things. You say, okay, for all of these guys, use the selection notation to select them. And then say, okay, now that I've selected all the reply links, buttons on the page, I want to do something when I want to add an event. So when someone clicks on one of these guys, I want it to execute a function. Okay? So when someone clicks, I want to execute a function. So what do I want it to do? Well, I want it to open the comment box below that particular comment that we're replying to, right? So how do we open it up? Well, we need to look and see what's the form that belongs to it. So the form needs to have an ID too. So the form should also have a unique identifier such that we can talk to it and select it and everything. So the THID for this guy should be reply form dash, reply form, use our bar notation so it does string concatenation automatically. Reply form comment ID, right? So now we have a reply button and a reply form that are both going to have the same ID. Okay, so now we have a way to call it out. So first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to grab the ID, let the ID be equal to, what is the comment ID, right? So let's comment, what is the comment ID that we're working with here? Well, essentially, it's going to be this object that we've clicked on, dot property ID, and this is what I do. I do a split on the hyphen and get the right-hand side. So a lot happened there, I know, but I do this all over the place to get the ID because I split things by hyphens. So I'm just taking the ID, which is reply, btn, hyphen, and then a number, and I'm saying get me the ID, which is the reply btn hyphen whatever, split it into two based on the hyphen. So to the left is going to be reply btn, and to the right is going to be just the ID, the comment ID. And then we can use that to create the form ID, which is we do reply form dash plus the comment ID, right? That's the form ID. And then we can select, based on that form ID, we can select that form and say remove, how do we remove a class attribute again? Remove class? Is that how you do it in jQuery? jQuery remove class? Yeah, dot remove class, then you pass in the name of the class you want to remove. Okay, because we want to remove class dnone, right? That's essentially what we want to do. We want to remove the dnone, which will then make it not hidden. So let me refresh this page. Let me see if we have any errors in the thing. No. If I click reply, okay, split is undefined, so we couldn't split this prop ID. So let's put a breakpoint in there, and then we'll be able to see why that didn't work. Here. So if we click on reply, it's going to go in this dot property. This dot property ID. You're saying this dot property ID is not valid. Let me go to the console and type in this dot prop ID. Yeah, that's good. So this dot split by hyphen, oops, yeah, is an array. And then this split by hyphen of 1 should give me just the number. Yeah. Did I must have done there must be a oh, silly me. Let's say there must have been a typo there. So I used square brackets. Whoopsie. Silly Trevor. So split is a function, right? Functions, when we execute functions, we use round brackets. That is coding 101, ladies and gentlemen. Swing and a miss. Okay. Don't use square brackets. So now when I click on reply, let me close this. Oh, I thought that was a should have worked, but it didn't. That's all right. Yeah, it didn't work. So let me go back to the debugger. Let me hit the breakpoint, reply. So now comment ID should be 1, which it is. Form ID is going to be reply dash form plus the comment ID, right? So the form ID is reply form dash 1. So now we select the form based on that and say remove class dnone. So that should grab the form that is hidden, right? Because this is reply form dash 1 class dnone, right? We have the whole form here, but it's hidden. So when I say remove class dnone, that should have worked, right? Because if I say select reply form dash 1, we get, oh, length is 0. Reply form, is that not what it's actually called? Reply form dash comment ID. Reply form dash comment ID. Reply form dash comment ID. Reply form dash 1. Is that not reply button? Reply form dash 1. Form ID equals. That's is. Oh, sorry. So when you're, this is again 101 level stuff. When you're selecting by ID, you need a hash symbol, pound. You know, then it gets the actual form. So that's a silly typo on my part. You need to have a. Well, I guess we could do this. Well, no, we'll use it as a selector here. Like that. You append the pound to the front. I could have also put it in here, but that's technically not the form ID. That's the form selector. Anyway, semantics. Refresh. Okay, click on reply. It hit my breakpoint. Let me hit play. Ta-da! The form appears. Nice. So, now the thing is, it's always going to be there. So if I click on reply here, it'll open that one. And if I click reply here, it'll open that one. So the next step is to close all of the forms that are open. So in other words, re-add the dNone class to hide them all, and then only unhide the one that we've clicked on, right? Because this is going to get unruly quickly by just clicking on reply everywhere. Cool. So we've started to get the ball rolling here with the UI functionality. Obviously, the next step is to do what I just said, hide everything and only show the one that we're clicking on, and then start to add in the actual real functionality piece to this, which is, well, we'll get there when we get there. So looking forward to seeing you in the next episode. We're making some progress, ladies and gentlemen. Can't wait until we're done. Take care of yourself, as always. Happy learning, and bye for now.